Weddings-ish, 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 weddings-ish with Jove.
This episode is brought to you by Kwiat, diamonds that look bigger, brighter, and more beautiful at kwiat.com. Well, hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to Weddings-ish with Jove, a podcast all about love, joy, and weddings-ish with a special guest each episode. I couldn't be more excited to be in studio with Colton Underwood. I'm so happy that you're here and joining us, and I'm so grateful to Ashley Smith, your wedding planner, who's the reason that we're here today.
Totally.
Well, she's the best.
She is the best. We loved her and her entire team.
Your wedding was beautiful. I want to start there.
Thanks.
It was 3 days in Napa.
Yeah.
How did you come to decide Napa Valley was for you?
Well, wine, my husband and I both love wine.
Okay.
So it's a good start.
I mean, repeat. We both love wine.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And I think we knew that we wanted to get married in California.
Okay.
Just with weather and the time of year, we didn't really look
Anywhere else.
I mean, we looked, I should say we loosely looked in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we
in the mountains?
In the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, we knew
Beautiful.
we wanted it to be like outside and
Nature-based.
Nature-based,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, we loved it.
The flowers were amazing.
Yes.
It was Duet Botanical, I think, did your flowers.
Yes. They did
Your
such a good job.
aisle was like a field of grasses. They were like gently blowing in the breeze. It was just so picturesque.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that was Jordan's. I don't want to like undercut Ashley's team.
No.
They were great with execution. I think that was Jordan's idea. Don't kill me, Ashley. If
I don't know whose idea it was.
I think,
it was just
I
so
think Jordan's
pretty.
vision for it was just like he was like, I just want wild grasses.
You mean it was your husband's vision to do it, and then the
yes, to do
florist
it.
executed it, and then she produced it.
Yeah.
So that was his idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think
love that.
weirdly he was not. I don't even want to call him a bridezilla, but he definitely had more opinions than I did.
He was the Zilla in the relationship.
He was the Zilla. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
There was only like a few things that I was like, sort of like, this is important to me. That it's this way.
There were a lot of features in your wedding that I think were super special. I just was gifted at my birthday the Loving book.
Oh, it's the best.
And then, I mean, it's like the most beautiful book. If no one's ever heard of it, you need to get it. It's like pictures of men in love from the 1800s.
Yeah, black and white. It's a history of men in love.
Yeah, it's like chillingly gorgeous. And I saw that you made a path of those images.
Yeah.
How did you decide to do that?
I mean, that was the one thing that I sort of had a vision on too. And I worked with Shutterfly on it and just was like, I want to blow these up.
Yeah.
And I had to work obviously with Neil and the authors of the books. They're the best. And they were like, yes, we can do this. Like typically we don't like let people
allow this.
Yeah, we don't. But when it was just important to me to like, and to Jordan to really sort of pay homage to the people who came before us.
Yeah.
And also understanding, yes, there was a privilege in it too, but there was a lot of people that we sort of felt a responsibility.
Got it. Like to educate your audience.
There was a lot of people attending that was their first and maybe their only gay wedding that they were going to be
ever gone to. Yeah.
So it's like, why not let them understand
and see that it's like not a weird thing or a strange thing or a new thing.
Right.
Because that's so annoying when everyone's like, it's so trendy to be gay.
I know.
Like, no. Not no, but like, it's so much more than that. How long was that path? I only saw like a small piece of the video, but like it was like a number of images.
200 yards.
Oh, wow.
It was a very long walk.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. And it was 30 to 40 plus images, but Jordan paired them with poems. So
from
historical,
the book or historical
love poems from queer people. So not just men, it was women too. And
did people cry?
Yeah.
I mean, how could you not cry?
And we took a moment after all of our guests were seated. We walked it together.
Just the two of you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to cry.
It was the best.
It's really like that book is so striking. It sits on my coffee table so that like I can remember similarly the people that have come before that allow us the freedom
we had our wedding guest sign it.
Have.
So
really,
so
that's your...
Yeah, my copy that I had in my house I actually brought to let my wedding guests...
Is your guest book.
Our wedding guest sign, yeah.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And you all walked down the aisle together.
We did.
How did you come to that decision? I feel like in weddings, there's such a pressure to do things a certain way, a traditional way, which usually means like a hetero way.
Yeah.
Because that's all we've known for so many years. But how did you decide that the two of you wanted to go that route?
Just through conversations. We had a lot of conversations of like how traditional, I hesitate even using that word because it's like, what does it mean these days?
100%. Throw it out the window.
Yeah. So we just wanted to do things the way that we felt were appropriate and respectful to our families. We still wanted to honor them and take a moment, but by no means was one of us getting handed off to the other. Like we chose each other and we were making this decision together.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the most important part. And also just, it's fun. You get to like hold hands with your husband.
Of course. As
at that
you
time,
go
fiance,
down
as you're like
the
going
aisle.
down and partying, and you go down as, you know, engaged.
As a unit.
In a couple, and then you come back out married.
Wait, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting because a lot of people ask me, like, as a planner, wedding planner, what is the best way to go down the aisle? And I don't think it's like a gay version or a straight version. It's like whatever feels right to you and your partner.
Right.
And your family. Like some parents might be super, like was your mom or dad, were they offended or they totally?
No, my mom walked the dogs in.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then my dad and his current wife came down the aisle together.
Perfect. So they were involved.
They were involved.
They weren't not involved.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of weddings today is it's not like a gay wedding or a straight wedding, but it's making your wedding what feels right for you and your fiance.
Yeah.
What else? Your cufflinks.
Yes.
So tell me about that. That seems so specific that you both gifted each other cufflinks.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. If you sort of the history of our relationship, he proposed with a necklace.
Okay.
And
not a ring.
Not a ring.
Okay.
It was a pendant necklace with our birthstones on it, and it was CJ, sort
That's
of our
beautiful.
family. Like,
did you
logo.
did you know that was coming?
No. The engagement was a whole surprise,
Okay.
and it was so well executed. And then I re-proposed to him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, a couple months later in Mexico. That was one thing I like. There's no rules when you're gay, so it's like there's no traditions to follow.
Yeah.
So you just sort of do your own thing. And
100%.
I love diamonds, and I got him some diamonds. And
for him, but does he
his
love
pendant
diamonds?
to hang off?
For him.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
So I got 9 diamonds. It's like because 9 numerically has a lot of the number 9 has a lot of good connections to communication and healthy relationships, and it's just a good symbol, a good number.
Yeah, I have 9. My fiance got 9 diamonds in my ring.
Yeah,
so 9 it's a number.
It is a number. So I re-proposed to him, and then we sort of just made that thing of like, I'll surprise you with cufflinks, you surprise me, and
got it.
That's how we'll go about it.
I love that. Did he expect you to re-propose to him?
No. That was a surprise as well.
That was like you wanted him to feel what you felt.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that more people should do that. I do think it's like a trendy thing for queer couples, but I don't know why straight people don't do it.
Yeah.
more.
Well, I communicated with him very early on, like I'm ready when you're ready. So just whenever you want to propose, I'm sort of
You said that, like right out the gate.
I mean, not right out the gate, but yes, further down in the conversation. Early on, I was just like, I'm ready when you are. I'm not going to be the one to lead the proposal. Yeah. You've got this.
Oh, you like laid it out.
I just laid it out there.
Because you didn't want to, or because you?
No, I did a show that like basically with The Bachelor.
Yes.
So I was like,
course.
I've had my time with this, so like you do it.
But on that show, you didn't actually ever
I never
propose.
did. No.
Got it. And so this was your true first proposal.
Yes.
But a re-proposal.
Yeah. But I was like, I sort of want to feel it. Like
what
I would feel
without cameras, without producers, without all of that.
Yeah.
But you guys, it happened kind of quick because you came out in April of 21.
Yeah.
And then started dating in September of 21.
Yeah.
And then engaged in January of 22.
Yeah.
Like, what a lucky human being.
I know.
Literally.
I've learned that. And I think the one thing I always say that I took away from Bachelor was I dated with intent.
Yes.
So like, I hear it a lot of men being like, you came out and found your husband right away. I was like, I did date.
Yeah.
I just like.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like,
I just
how long? Oh, you mean before you came out?
No. Those were hookups. I wouldn't call that dating.
Okay. No, they're point of clarification.
Yes. No emotional connection, just physical in those.
Yeah, just exploring.
But yeah, I mean, before Jordan, I went on a handful of dates, and I've learned, obviously how to date with intent, but also I'm not a grass is greener type of guy.
Got it.
And also just like I found somebody who made me so incredibly happy.
Yeah.
And that was.
So why keep looking?
Why keep looking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? And I think like a lot of men just, specifically. I don't want to like only.
No,
it
it's
just
true.
takes them a little bit longer to figure
Yes.
out like what they want and what they need.
Yeah.
And I felt like that part of me was sort of already realized.
You had done all the work.
Yeah.
With the wrong gender, but you had done all the work.
I had done a lot of the work.
A lot
Yes,
of the
yes, yes.
research, a lot of the hard work. And how did the two of you meet?
We met originally at a Netflix wrap party. So
Okay.
at the end of my Netflix show,
Got it.
we were at the same, sort of.
Why was he there?
Get together.
Is he in the TV world?
He's not,
Okay.
but his good friend and best friend was dating Gus at the time.
Okay. Who was on your show?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I have Gus to somewhat thank for my
Okay.
husband on that.
And didn't Gus have feelings for you originally?
No.
There was never anything there.
There was never anything. No,
I
he
mean,
was in a
why not?
relationship. I was
I'm
definitely
just asking because hello.
coming out. Yeah, I know.
The two of you would be like too much to handle.
Yeah. But no, it was like one of those serendipitous things. And then 2 months later, we're on the same trip to Provincetown.
Oh, so you kind of met, but you didn't like, no one set you up at the event.
No, and we had spoke,
Yeah.
but we had not like,
You didn't connect. There wasn't a vibe or a flirt.
we didn't even exchange phone numbers.
Oh, nothing. Just like met, like
and then
you meet people all the time.
2 months later, I'm on a trip to P-Town and I get put in this group chat with 10 other gays and he was the only one to have like a profile picture. You know how like
So
that
then, of
happens.
course,
So then I like screenshot it, zoom in, and I'm like, who is this? And I sent it to Gus and I was like, what's his deal?
and you got the 411. And then you had your first date in P-Town?
And then I pursued him very hard because it rained the entire time in
Oh,
P-Town.
no, so you were stuck inside. Are you like an obvious flirter or like a awkward flirter?
Obvious. If Jordan
Obvious.
was here right now, he'd be like, he
knew.
I knew immediately that he was into me because I was like at dinners just being like, oh, you sit here, I'll sit here. Like,
you would do that.
Oh, yeah.
And he would obviously, did he play hard to get or he
no,
just
he didn't
kind of
play hard
fell
to
right
get at all.
He just fell right
on
into it.
He was like, this is great.
I love it. Yeah, when someone is so clear, it's nice. I feel like in the gay world sometimes
yeah.
no one knows how to do that in some way, and I don't know
Right.
if we're all running from something or hiding from something. And I'm not a therapist or psychologist, but like
We all have our own traumas.
we all have our own traumas. Okay, so you fell in love in P-Town.
I did.
And then where did he live and where did you? You both lived in LA?
I was in Colorado. So
Okay.
he was in LA, I was in Colorado. That's sort of also too, like I didn't, there was not a lot of expectations early on other than the fact that we really both knew we liked each other.
Got it.
And then after that, we started spending more time together.
Okay.
I was coming out here
When
for
did you make it
stuff.
official? Like, were you guys like pretty
gosh.
quick on the draw because you weren't engaged for that long?
We kept it very private for a while just
Yeah.
because like obviously there
Yes.
was scrutiny to come when you just come out and get
100%.
right into a relationship.
Yeah.
And I learned it wasn't healthy for me to have the public in my relationship.
Yeah. Well, especially if it was serious.
And new, serious and new.
Yeah.
I would say end of July.
Okay.
Is when we sort of like really called it what it was and was like, this is it, let's do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he proposed after your birthday, like that winter.
Yeah.
That's so fast. I love that.
Yes.
Like when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
And go in and do it.
Right.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
no ring. The necklace is so fun to
We
me.
ended up getting a ring when we got married.
Got it. So like the
But-
wedding band.
Wedding band,
Yeah.
yes. But necklaces is what we wore for our
Mm-hmm.
engagement. Yeah.
That's a really fun twist on that.
Yeah.
And then in terms of The Bachelor, because that's how the world came to know you.
Yeah.
What an interesting journey. God, that word journey.
I know.
It's-
There's a lot of cliches like journey and roses and
So many cliches.
all of the things I can't do anymore.
Did you obviously like? I don't know how you feel about roses. Were there? I didn't see any at your wedding. I'm sure
That was intentional,
was
too. Yeah.
Intentional. They were like, no roses at the
Can't
wedding.
do roses or white wine anymore because of that show.
Oh, you know what? Because you just drink all day,
You drink every day.
all day, every day,
Yeah.
and no cell phones,
No cell phones.
and no outside world.
Nope.
And how long are the filming days?
Long. I mean, I think in the morning, my call time just to like figure wardrobe and stuff out was like 8 a.m., 7 a.m.
Okay.
But I would be out until 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
Filming.
Well, yeah, with the night dates. So like the
That's-
night dates don't start typically until like 11, 11:30.
What?
And
Why
then
so? Because things have to be closed.
Well, it's either things have to be closed or they just make sure it's dark too. And
Got it.
Also, you're jet lagged because like we were in Thailand, Vietnam,
This
Singapore.
is wild. So
Yeah.
when they first come up, so
It's
you were at,
like a full-time job.
yeah, it's not like a part-time thing.
No.
And when you were first on, you were a contestant fighting for the Bachelorette,
Yes.
and then from there became
No. Went to
Bachelor?
Paradise.
You went to Paradise?
Yes.
I love Paradise.
For 10 days.
It's
It's
the
a
best,
disaster.
trashiest part of the whole franchise.
Yes, it is.
I've given up until the Golden Bachelor. I really fell in love with I feel like the show lost its heart, and now that did it for me in a way.
Yeah, I'm really happy for them.
I mean, it's the
finally,
sweetest.
they needed to innovate.
And 70-year-old, those sassy women were some of my favorite women
Totally.
of all of the franchise. Okay, so Bachelorette to Paradise, and Paradise to becoming the Bachelor.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, do they really wash down the driveway, get it wet for
Everything.
all of those
all the rumors are
about
true.
the Bachelor are true.
Yeah. It looks good now that I'm sort of in production. I
For
understand
sure.
it.
You understand
Wet driveways look
why-
better than dry. Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
And then that first day when you're introduced to everyone, do
Yeah.
they literally that's how many hours of filming? Because it looks like the sun
gosh.
comes up at the end.
It does, but you don't start the night until like I said, 10.
Wow.
9 or 10.
But you go till sunrise.
Yeah.
And how much of the drama is manufactured?
A lot of it.
Yeah. Do you have any say in your top contestants? Or is it
It's a mix
producers and you?
It's it's always a conversation to have.
Yeah.
But they have to make a show.
Yes.
So, and you sort of know that.
Of course. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all, but you're also as a viewer in it, and you want to
Totally.
believe
Totally.
it to be real.
Yeah. It's like a happy medium. You
Yes.
have to find.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so enough about that show that nobody watches anymore except the new Golden Bachelor. And I heard they're making a Golden Bachelorette, which
I just want them to make a gay one. So
I do too. But did you ever watch Finding Prince Charming?
Yeah, and I know obviously the Paramount folks are trying to figure out what they're doing with that.
I just don't know how you not have a hookup house. I mean, that's with the straight world, one man, 20 women,
I think they just need to call it what it is, and either do a Paradise where they divide it between tops and bottoms, or throw
no one can be versed.
throw a verse in there as the wild cards. I mean, I think you can't my whole thing is you can't shy away from the culture.
No, because that's
Lean
a big
into it.
part of
That
it.
is a big part of it, and that is
100%.
also I know now for a fact from having friends.
Yes.
it is a deal breaker at times.
Yes.
If you're not compatible physically,
It doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
We have friends. I'm
So
not
why
gonna say names.
you should lean into
You
it.
should lean into it because it's a
Yeah.
real thing.
Totally.
We have friends that have been married for 10 years, and now the one that was the bottom said, "Now I'm a top,"
Yeah.
to his husband who's the top.
Got
and
it.
I was like, "Great. So what does this mean?" And they're like, "We're figuring it out." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah.
But you can't sword fight every night. That's not gonna last for a long period of time.
Compatibility is a real thing.
It's key.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why people lead with it on all of these apps, because no one wants to waste. I think it's respectful. Nobody wants to waste anybody's time.
Get all the information on the table.
Get it all
I
up
agree.
front.
I
And
agree.
then, I think the show needs to happen. Would you ever be a host on a show like that?
I think I would. I think that would be how I could return to that sort of franchise and/or style.
Yeah, in
would
that
be-
way.
Would be in that way.
Because I think the other one for Finding Prince Charming, which was so long ago, was Lance Bass, which was a
Yes.
very interesting dynamic and only was in one episode.
Yeah.
And then the whole show just got chaotic.
Yeah.
And all the blogs, everyone was just sleeping with everyone, but not Mr. Prince Charming
Right.
or whatever their title was. But I think we should make this show happen.
Yeah. I'm more into Paradise, a Bachelor in Paradise
Got it.
style.
That kind of
gay-ish
more
queer show.
casual.
Yeah. And
Not
or a
a
Love is Blind
serious-
queer.
Yes.
And divide them by tops and bottoms there.
That would be phenomenal.
So-
Because Love is Blind needs a reboot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Season 1 and 2 were amazing, and now
This last season was a little tragic.
it's very tragic. And no one's together, and it's you all just came on to be on TV.
Yeah.
It's not what it started out to be,
Right.
I think. So let's do it. Producers, reach out for the
Yeah.
gay something. When I watched your show about coming out,
Yeah.
I think the thing that spoke to me the most was your relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
It's unusual, sadly, for many men to have that kind of support from their father.
Yeah.
When you came out to him on camera, that was literally that first conversation.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I
I don't
know.
know that I would have could
Yeah.
have. That was very brave of both of you.
Yeah, I know, and I think like the thing that I remind people, because, you know, even like my family at times, like, you really did this? And I was like, well, it's because I trust my family. And I trusted that
You
they're
knew
good
where
human
they-
beings.
yeah, where
they
their
might
heart
not
was.
have always given me every signal to come out
Sure.
at a young age, but I also knew that they would love and support me no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think like that was the confidence and the trust that I had in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big sort of, not really risk, but I'm putting them in a very vulnerable spot.
100%. He could go either way, and either way is his journey, his process.
And look, I know many, many, many of my queer friends who come out to their family and they don't get on board right away.
Yes,
And it takes
or they
some
get
time.
kicked out, or
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's also a very real path as well. And yeah, I was very blessed and lucky to have the family.
It was so sweet. He was crying, I was crying. I'm like, why am I, this is too much. I had to like turn
Yeah.
off the TV.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah.
And now knowing he was at your wedding, he walked down the aisle, like the
Yeah.
full circle moment.
I know.
For you, it's like
Yeah.
too much. So then what was it when you were younger that kept you in the closet? I feel like every gay man is different.
Yeah.
But was it sports? Was it religion? Was it family? Was it yourself?
Yeah,
Like,
those were the three main ones. So definitely football, definitely my faith, and
Yeah.
being a Christian man. I grew up in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And
they're not
then-
very flexible, the Catholic Church.
Not at all.
Yeah.
The third one was my desire to want to be a dad.
Got
and
it.
I think that was like the representation I never saw.
Correct.
Was queer dads.
Yeah.
To like two same sex.
So it wasn't an
men.
option in your mind.
No.
And
I
being
didn't
a
know.
dad was more important.
than being
having
gay.
that true
yeah,
love
and
or
especially at a
being gay
younger
or-
age, like you haven't gone through puberty, so you don't really
Yeah.
understand your feelings. You know
Yep.
you're different. You can't process it, and then by the time you get through puberty, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I am gay.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I can't come out.
Yes.
It puts yourself in a really hard spot as
And
a,
you
as
just
a
keep
young adult.
pushing it down the road
Yeah.
until like. So when did you know? Like for me, I grew up in a beach town.
Yeah.
We'd go to the beach all the time. My brother would look at the girls in their bikinis, and I would look at the surfers.
Yeah.
And like wait for them to take off their wetsuits.
Yeah.
And I was young. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I knew. I didn't understand.
Yep.
But I knew where my eyes wanted to go. Like for you, what was that age, do you think?
Oh gosh. I mean, probably in high school, like late, like 8th grade or high school, right when
Okay.
you're going through that puberty.
Yeah. What a
And
great
you start,
time.
You start understanding the feelings, like, oh, this is why I'm different.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's
And any
what-
crushes in high school? Like secret crushes?
No, I mean, not really. Like,
Yeah.
I really avoided anything.
You
gay.
worked hard to
I worked
just
hard to like sort of tune
build
it
a
out.
wall.
Yeah,
That's I mean, I get it. And
it's sad, but it's the truth.
it's your reality. And I think a lot of people are stuck in that
yeah,
place.
Yep.
I mean, and almost the generation before us got married, had children, and are coming out now
Yeah.
after their kids graduate college.
Yep.
So it is getting easier, but I think a lot of people don't realize it's still, there's a wall that's there that
Totally.
you either climb or you hide behind it.
totally.
And you decided to climb it.
Yep.
And so are you still religious, or how do you see religion in your life?
I'm a man of faith. I am a Christian man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my religion and my relationship with God has changed so much
I'm
in
sure.
a good way, in a
Yeah.
healthy way for me.
Did you fear, like, were you a person who feared God because you're gay
I didn't feel
before?
God. I feared the community.
Got
I think
it.
that was like the big difference that I realized is
Yeah.
like I think I obviously I know my God and
Yeah.
like my faith and my relationship and
Yeah.
and how how he leads with love.
Sure. Period.
But what I didn't see, it was like the community doesn't lead, or what I did see was the community doesn't lead with love. They lead with judgment.
Yep.
They lead with this holier than thou
Yep.
persona, and they're very hypocritical.
Yeah, so there wasn't space for you to
Right.
be honest.
Right.
And it's interesting because there are many queer people of faith,
Yeah.
and somehow people think that's a contradiction.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like if there is a creator and they made things out of love, and like any parent leads with love, I just don't understand this like desire and battle against gay people weaponizing God or a creator or religion.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty hypocritical in so many ways to me. That can be weaponized against us.
Yeah, I agree. I remember telling the producers too, for the Netflix show, I remember telling them, like, I'm really scared to do this because if I come out as gay and still come out as
person
being
of
a
faith.
Christian.
Yes, like which side are you on?
Well, that's the thing is like I'm sort of alienating two communities because the
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus community really does not like Christians and they
Sure.
hold a lot
well,
of
they've been hurt. Yeah.
and rightfully so to
Yeah.
a certain degree. And then same with the Christian community, like you don't really belong here anymore.
Like
you,
Beyonce and country music. You had the same
Yeah.
conundrum.
Yeah, but you know
that-
what? I found my community. I found so many great
Yeah.
people of faith that are queer.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool.
And the thing is like you find your community no matter what it is. And the thing
Right.
about gay people is we're not all the same. Queer people, like, there is a variety,
Yeah.
is the spice of life in our community.
Totally.
You know, from like queer Muslims to Christians to atheists to Jewish people. Like,
Yeah.
every kind of person out there exists. And I think it's beautiful that you can be a person of faith and queer if that's what you want to do.
For sure.
We did a queer wedding in a church, and it was one of the most beautiful. There was one church in New York City that would do this wedding, and it's the church they went to for many years as a couple. And it was like such a gorgeous moment to hear a choir and to see a church full of queer people,
Yep.
2 men at the altar. Like I was young in my career, and I think gay marriage had just passed in
Yep.
New York, and I was crying. Like this
Yeah.
is something that we never thought was possible. And even now the Pope, although it wasn't like they don't approve of same-sex marriage, but
Yeah.
there's a blessing. Like I don't really understand what's going on there.
It changes every week.
Yes.
So it can't
Yes.
really keep up.
But there's movement in the right direction. And I
Yeah.
think that is something that we can all celebrate.
Totally.
Okay, so you got married. You were the Bachelor, Paradise Bachelor, then a real Bachelor.
Yes.
Did you have a bachelor party?
No.
No.
I didn't want one.
You didn't want one. Did you
No.
do like a wedding shower, like or you just focused on the
we
wedding?
just sort of focused on the wedding and did our own thing. I think Jordan did. Jordan went to San Diego with some of his friends
Okay.
for a bachelor party.
Got it. Kept it local.
Yeah, I think I was working at the time. I was filming something. So
Got it.
yeah,
It wasn't possible for you.
It wasn't possible. It could have been.
Yeah.
At a different date.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have the desire. There
To do
wasn't.
that.
Yeah, there was really no like anything I needed to get out of my system. Like
Sure.
whatever they say, those are
Yes,
for.
you're like
I just,
last minute
I was
hurrahs.
like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to
Yes,
commit and get
yes.
married and start a family. So you always knew you wanted to be a dad. Were you like on your dating I guess you didn't meet him on a dating profile. So did you talk
No.
about family right away? Because also in the queer community, like,
Yeah.
just like if you're not compatible sexually, kids are also very
Totally. We
divisive.
bonded off of that right away. That
Okay.
we both wanted to be dads.
Yeah.
And even the other guys that I dated, I told them that.
You were
like,
very clear.
Yeah, very clear.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
Do you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
The game plan right now is 2.
2? Okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to reevaluate after that.
Okay,
see where
how
our
it
life
goes.
is.
Are you
see-
trying for twins or
No.
1 and then
Just
wait a little
1.
bit?
Yeah.
Start with 1.
Yep.
And your podcast is all about this. This is exactly what you're talking about.
Daddyhood.
Daddyhood.
I know.
I mean, what a cute name.
Yeah, just like a good hybrid of, play on words in our community. And
100%.
Daddy's become popular in the straight community too.
I think so. But we know where it originated.
Yeah, it's not as wholesome as fatherhood, but
No.
it's, we get into all of the
tea.
all of the details of mainly this first season is for fertility.
Got it.
I'm sort of shedding a light on the lack of just knowledge and information out there
Yep.
that regards fertility, especially for men.
I was shocked. So I listened to one episode. I listened to like pieces of all of them.
Yep.
But you were very candid about sperm.
Yeah.
And I guess in my mind, like if you're young, your sperm is fine.
Well, and most of the time people think their sperm's fine just because they obviously ejaculate and
Yes.
can see it.
Yes.
They're like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, like I have
But, like,
some.
That's not sperm. That's semen. So like, you start learning all of these differences
Wow.
and like the
Is
nuances.
semen in the sperm?
Semen's the additional fluids to the sperm and it helps the sperm swim through.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not an expert, so anything I
No,
say, I
sure.
never claim to be.
No.
But I've learned a lot.
I'm sure.
yeah.
So you found out your swimmers were not strong.
My swimmers weren't alive.
Can't swim.
Just not alive.
Don't exist.
Don't exist.
So for you then, that means in surrogacy it would be Jordan's biological baby, or is there another route for you?
I did 6 months of sperm rehabilitation.
That's a thing?
Yep.
I love this.
And I changed. There was
is it your diet?
there was a few things. So I stopped hot tubbing. I stopped taking hot baths.
Okay.
I stopped doing sauna and steam room.
The hot tub really...
Oh, anything that warms your scrotum up cooks your sperm.
Okay.
And it takes 3 months for a sperm to be formed.
3 months? So if men male couples or anyone doing surrogacy from the male side, like no hot tubs, no saunas for
just
months.
men in general, not even queer men, just anybody who's trying to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh
yes.
Limit.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I forget that there are
they're
other
straight men
people
too, unfortunately.
I forget about them, to be honest.
Yeah, you need to limit your
Heat.
just extreme temperatures. Both heat and the ice tubs are a big thing now.
Both sides of it. Yeah.
Yeah, just like anything that sort of disrupts the habitat of which the sperm
no
live.
one likes extreme heat or extreme cold.
Right.
Wow. So, okay, you're
and
not
then the
doing
main
that.
thing that was really crushing mine is I was taking testosterone.
Okay.
So coming out of football, I had low T.
Got it.
And so I was taking synthetic testosterone every 5 days.
Got it.
And that
And
was
that
essentially
was
sterilizing me.
killing the babies.
Yep.
So if you stop that, no hot tub, no ice bath, hopefully like they
6 months later, my numbers bounced back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
It was very exciting.
And then
I froze my sperm.
Then you froze it.
Yep.
And Jordan's also?
Jordan's too.
Are you doing a mixie-dixie?
We didn't. We split our embryos 11 and 11.
Okay.
And then fertilized, and he got 2, I got 1, and then we just instructed our doctor for this first one to not tell us, just put the healthiest one in, and then the next time do the opposite.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you can't really mixie-dixie because to simplify this, because I think it's very complex and I'm not an expert either, but my fiance and I are having this same conversation.
Yeah.
You need the egg, you need the sperm, and then you need the surrogate. There's
Correct.
many other steps which
Yeah,
you
you
go
have to
over in your
make embryos.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But the embryo is the sperm and the egg.
Correct.
And so you can't put multiple mixed sperm in one egg.
No, the embryo belongs
One to
genetically
one.
to one person.
1-to-1.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep.
So, and then from there, you pick the healthiest is sort of the way that
The doctor. We instructed the
Yes,
doctor.
not you. You're not in
just
there.
because we don't really want to have to answer the question of whose is it, because
Correct.
it's ours. So
It's
you just
your
sort of
child.
open yourself up to inappropriate and or just like very vulnerable conversations
Of course.
with strangers that you really don't want to have.
No, that's our
when they're like,
child.
it's our child.
Yeah,
There
it's
is
not
no
his
or
or
mine.
mine.
It's
Yeah.
ours. This is our family.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
and it is, but I also feel like you're going to know.
Oh, we're for sure gonna know.
Like
but
my fiance, if it pops out a ginger, like
yeah. Well,
know what I mean?
I'm
We're gonna
more
know.
nervous. I'm more nervous that, like, if our first one is his, I'm gonna love him more because it's his DNA. So that's it's not
that's so
it's not like the
sweet.
typical thing, because you're just
Sure.
like,
yeah.
sure, selfishly maybe do I want?
Of course.
I mean,
we
think,
all do. Our parents want that for us.
yes. So, but I think the level of love is gonna be so much different. With
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's your timeline in your journey? Like this can take couples 1 to 2
We're on
or
2.
more.
We're going on our second year in this now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're into year 2 now.
So you started before the wedding because you're
did.
coming up on your anniversary.
We did.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is not uncommon. We have a
No.
couple now that's getting married this fall, and they're in the process currently.
Yeah. So we are making sure everything's healthy with the surrogate. We have our surrogate. She's
Amazing.
here.
She's in LA.
She's in California.
Oh, great.
I say here because at least it's not like a plane ride.
Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere.
Right.
Far, far.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that worked out great.
And are you best friends or are you professional?
No, it's professional.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I wouldn't.
We're as friends as you can be right now, but
Totally.
it's through an agency.
Yeah,
So like
so
it's
there's,
not
like,
like
a
it's
lot
somebody
of-
we knew.
Yeah, it wasn't Craigslist.
No.
You weren't
Not
finding
going to Craigslist
a
for a
baby
surrogate.
mama for
No.
for-
But yeah, it's to the stage right now where we're just waiting for final checks and approvals.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so exciting. It's
Totally.
so wild.
I know.
And then you're going to be a dad. You're
Hopefully.
both going to be dads. Do you want to be dad, papa? Like, what's the...
I want to be dad or dada.
Okay.
I think.
and what does Jordan want to be?
Dad or dada too.
The same. So, so the child's going to
something like that.
You want the same names.
We'll figure out.
Okay.
We could plan that all we want. The child's going to call you what the child's going to call
100%.
you.
And
So
who's going to be the disciplinarian versus the weaker one? Not weaker, but the one
I
that
will
gives
have
in.
yes, I'll have to step up to the table a little bit more. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not a disciplinary guy. I'm
Got
not
it.
a yeller by any means.
So they'll go to Jordan, he'll say no, and then you'll say yes.
Yes.
You're the weak.
That's what happens with the dogs. The dogs now like.
They know.
Well, yes.
Got it.
They just know I roll over.
You're
So,
the one.
Yes.
Is it like
They come
one time you roll over, 2, 3?
Oh no,
like-
they get anything they want
right
whenever
away.
they want. Yes, they know. I'm gonna have to work on that.
I love that you know that at least, that you're like self-aware enough
I'm self-aware enough.
to
Yeah.
know. I am curious about parenthood and religion.
Yeah.
Because I think I was raised super religious. And I think for me, when I came out, similarly to you, there was this desire, but I still want a family. I still have to have children. I still have to be normal. I hate that word, and that was me like 20 years ago, not today. But did you have a process of separating what you thought you had to do as a religious person, like what was expected of you as a religious straight person versus like what you want free of all of that? Do you know what I mean? Not free because you are a person of faith, but I feel like there's so much pressure put on you from religion and culture.
Yeah, I'm at peace with it now.
Yeah.
Like the best way to put it is like after I came out, being gay made me a better Christian, just with my perspective and like how, you know, I've grown just as a person since coming out. But I just like my love and my faith is not conditional anymore. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of power in that too.
Wow. Being gay made you a better Christian. That's a powerful.
If more Christians would be gay, they would be nicer.
I mean, 100%.
Because they would have a different perspective of like what it means to lead with love and acceptance. Yeah. And also like, you know, Jesus spent the most time investing in the people who had the hardest pass.
100%.
So I think like, let's, you know.
Look at that and see, like he washed the feet of prostitutes. He fed the hungry and the homeless. Like, it's interesting how the world can be so picky and choosy about certain verses and apply them.
Structured and organized religion does that quite often.
Yeah. It's pretty wild to me that that's the case.
Yeah.
So then what about, is Jordan religious?
He isn't, no.
So how do you raise a baby? Like, what's the...
Yeah, that's a great question.
That's another conversation, I'm sure.
Something we're gonna talk about. But, you know, all those is a little bit down the road.
Yeah, you've got time.
But it's on our radar.
Yeah, something to think about and discuss.
For sure.
Well, that's so exciting. I have a couple of other questions for you here. So I feel like you are eternally an optimist. Every time I've seen you anywhere, despite all of the challenges and the obstacles, like you're smiling. Yeah. And you have a positive energy. How do you do that? What's your secret? Obviously, like we don't all have happy days every day. Yeah. How do you stay so positive?
Oh gosh. I struggle with it too. I always just view that there's enough negativity in the world. So anytime people see or hear from me, it should be in a positive manner. Okay. I definitely know there's like more serious tones and serious things that I'll have to comment on or talk about. Yeah. But the things that I put out, I want to leave people feeling good about and not bad. Yeah. So that's sort of my rule of thumb or my North Star. From. Yeah.
So if you're having a really awful day, as we all do, how do you get out of that? Like, is it music? Is it walking? Is it nature? Is it your dog? Is it crying?
It's Jordan.
Is it eating?
It's my husband.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and it's therapy, and it's going for long walks, listening to music. It's all sorts of different things. It depends on what went wrong in the day. Yes. It's sort of how severe of a game plan I have to put together.
How you have to reverse out of it. Got it. Sure. Okay, I love that. What's one thing people would never guess about you? People know a lot about you from your time on our TV screens.
Yeah. I play video games.
You're a gamer.
I'm a gamer.
Okay, like Gaymer.
Yeah,
like you're in it.
And I'm good.
Which ones?
I play a lot. I love how I was like, and I'm good.
But you said that with such confidence, which I love.
I love playing video games.
Like you play the ones, I don't play, but the one like the group ones were like
Xbox. I play Xbox. Okay. I play VR, like the headset games now.
This is amazing.
Shooters, sports games, all sorts of things. Yep.
Like how many hours a day? On a dream day?
Not a ton.
Is this a lazy Sunday activity?
Oh, like a lazy Sunday, I could play for like 5 or 6 hours.
Just straight.
Straight.
No one else in the world.
Nope.
Wow, I would never have guessed that.
Yeah.
A gamer.
It's a weird
it's your thing.
Therapy for me. Yeah.
You know what? I like the Housewives. It's not great for me, but that's my thing.
We all have our thing.
We all have our thing. Wow. I was not expecting that. Okay. What's something you wish you learned earlier in your life?
Probably that being gay was okay. That would have been nice to come out at a younger age. Yeah. But I think that everything is going to be okay. Yeah. I think I had a lot of anxiety as a little kid.
Of course. Yeah. And you held it all in and you wrapped it all up. When you came out in such a big way on that interview, I know there was some backlash, but have you received, or you must have received, so many messages from young men and women in a similar situation?
Yeah, I mean, I get still to this day, I mean, the power of Netflix, I get a DM about every day.
Wow.
From somebody in the world, not just like in the U.S.
Like all over, yeah, because
all over.
It's global.
Yeah, and that's the most rewarding thing. It's like everything that I went through, whether it was people's opinions or the backlash that came with, you know, the announcement of the show, it made it worth it. Yeah. Because like it's reaching an audience.
You're touching a real human being.
Yeah. And I think the majority of the people that the backlash came from people who had valid positions of like, we should be telling more diverse storytelling. And I agree with that.
Sure.
I just think, you know, we should be lucky and fortunate to take anything and everything we can get as a queer
community. 100%.
Yeah, because there's a lot of gays in the middle of our country that don't always feel represented.
Yeah,
and I think that was sort of, now that I've sort of had time to like work through all of it, I figure like that's a role that I'm taking a lot of pride in.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
because you like video games, you must have watched, what was that TV show about a video game?
Halo?
No, it was, and they had the most amazing queer couple episode.
Oh, The Last of Us.
Yes, episode 3. You must have watched it. I mean, wow.
So powerful.
Like so powerful.
Yep.
So beautiful.
Who is it? It was
Nick Offerman, and I forget the other gentleman's name.
Murray.
But like two men you would not stereotypically think were gay. Like he was like a gun collecting, end of the world, which he was right about, so good for him. Like that kind of a person, but their love story was just
it was super powerful,
gorgeous
for a mainstream viral hit.
Yes,
it was really well
and a whole episode. We didn't get a minute.
Right.
We didn't. We weren't depressed. We weren't the best friend. We weren't Will and Grace. Like it was like two men in love, and it was like, and they're both straight.
Yeah.
Which is. One of them is.
Nick Offerman.
Nick is straight. Oh, the other one is not?
No.
Oh, I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
But Nick is.
Nick is.
Got it.
Nick is straight.
Yeah, that was like, emotionally for me, that like, that did it.
Yeah, because the other one, it's so bad that I'm blanking on his name. He was the general manager for the White Lotus.
Oh,
he was the one
it was him?
He was the one who was pounding Lucas Cage.
He was the one
yes.
with the cheeks on the desk.
Yes.
I mean,
or getting pounded by.
Yes. Wow. And Lucas Cage. What is going on with him?
He's
was
such
his
a good
marriage
human
fake?
being.
It can't have been real.
Look, it is. People.
He fell under the spell of. I don't know either of them.
Life is complicated. Relationships are complicated.
That's true.
He's a great human being. He's been so sweet and kind to me. And relationships are hard.
Yeah.
And they don't always work out.
Getting married on TV, I mean, is stressful.
This town is stressful.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yes.
So.
Because he had Shania Twain.
I know.
And recently he was like, I'm sorry, Shania, but I love you.
Yeah.
Not that you take sides, but I feel like Lucas, I don't know either of them, but him from White Lotus. And I was like,
Lucas.
He seems so sweet.
Yeah, he's great.
And he was in some other movie that was like very bizarre that I watched the whole thing about like killing someone.
Oh,
and,
gosh.
Like, he was on a date and then, anyways, I don't know. We're going off on a tangent, but very sweet.
Good
and
humans.
Good humans. All right. Who is the one person who changed your life but doesn't know it?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I don't know if there's like just one person though.
Sure, I mean many people
also
sort
like
of shape.
At this point in my life, if somebody's changed my life, I've told them.
Got it.
After a lot of work and reflection.
Yeah.
I think it's been cool for me to have new relationships with old friends.
Yeah.
Just now that I'm out, it's like, my college coach and having sort of just reframing our relationship.
Yeah, in a different way.
Yeah.
Did anyone surprise you when you came out? Like that you thought it was going to be worse and it was really great? Like were there?
Like my grandma. It's like, I always knew. I was just waiting for you.
That was what she said?
Totally.
I was just waiting.
They cut that from the show. Poor.
Because I was like, I didn't see that.
I know. My nana and my papa was playing Rummy Cube when I came out to them.
And that's what they said.
Didn't make the final cut.
And she literally said, I always knew.
I've been waiting for you to tell us.
I mean, if that's not the sweetest thing in
I know.
the world.
And then my grandpa looked at me and said, go.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Because he wanted...
And I was like, really? You're not even going to acknowledge what I just said? You just want me to go?
Because he wants to win the game, because it's your turn and you're wasting time.
Yeah.
But I think like that's the lesson is like all the things you feared. And similarly for me, when I came out very late, they weren't as bad as you thought or I thought or many of us think. They are for some people.
Yeah,
for
your
sure.
head is a dangerous place. I've learned that the hard
Your
way.
head is a dangerous place.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I couldn't agree more. So is there any TV in your future? Are you done with the big screen? Are you
No,
interested?
I never speak in definitives now because,
Okay.
because
life is like
life
that.
is messy and fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back on TV. So
Okay.
that's a for sure thing. And
Okay.
then I'm just enjoying producing,
Yeah.
and creating, and sort of being behind the camera now.
Oh,
and
interesting.
sort of taking
For
on-
the podcast or for other projects?
For other projects,
as well?
too.
Like
Yeah.
what? Can you talk about them?
I'm doing a sports documentary right now.
Okay, you lost
So-
me, but I'm going to really try to
Yes,
focus.
It's around mental health.
Okay.
So that documentary is fun. A lot of the projects that I'm doing are either around sports
Okay.
or I like to say the projects I'm focused on is bridging America.
Bridging
How
America.
can I find things that we can agree on?
Yes.
What are those bipartisan issues?
And sports is one you think.
Sports is definitely one.
'Cause
You can
people
go to-
love it, and
and you
they're-
go to that stadium and you're wearing the same team's jerseys, and
Yep.
you might have voted for the different people in the
Yep.
election and view different ways for different, laws and
Yep.
I don't know.
But you come together around
You come
sports,
together around sports. So it's
Yeah.
like what content can we bring where people come together?
where
around?
we're actually united on something.
Yeah.
And you were raised in a family of athletes.
Yeah.
Your mom and dad both played sports.
Yes, and my brother.
And your brother.
Yeah.
What did your brother play?
He played football at Indiana State.
Oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
you don't think it's genetic, but like
I know.
that's a lot of athletes.
We always joked that we were bred, not born.
Bred, not born.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
That's really
we're ready to
amazing.
go.
And where can people find you? I know the podcast,
Yes.
which people should definitely, it's
That's
on
at Daddyhood Podcast on Instagram, and then at Colton Underwood on Instagram
on
as well.
Instagram. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much. This has been such a joy.
Thank
and I can't
you.
wait to see everything that
Oh.
comes in the future, including this little baby.
I know. I appreciate it.
All right. be
Thank
well.
you.
Weddings-ish.
You want a diamond ring that looks bigger, brighter, and more beautiful. You want it to be conflict-free and responsibly sourced. And you want it to be made just for you. Kwiat brings you Mine to Shine, the world's most personal diamond. It's the first way to choose an ethically and sustainably mined rough diamond and follow its journey step by step to create your own one-of-a-kind ring. Your Kwiat diamond will look bigger and brighter because it's perfectly cut to the world's highest standards. Whether you choose round, oval, cushion, or another shape, it will sparkle more brilliantly than all others. Because Kwiat has been the diamond expert since 1907. To learn more about Mine to Shine and Kwiat diamonds, visit kwiat.com. And now it's time for Ask Jove, where I answer your questions, really anything you want to know. And I couldn't be more excited to be joined in studio by my dear friend Sloan, and we are so excited to Ask Jove.
All right, Jove. Today's question comes from the West Coast.
Ooh, my hometown.
Emily from Los Angeles is wondering.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily. My fiance and I are feeling overwhelmed by the pressure of having a picture-perfect wedding, especially with social media amplifying this expectation.
Yep.
We want our wedding to be authentic and meaningful, but it's hard not to get caught up in the Instagram-worthy details.
For sure.
Jove, how do you address the pressure that couples feel today?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it is overwhelming. I almost feel like people who got married in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, early aughts had it a little bit better because no one saw your wedding images. Like if you were in the room, that's what it was, Now the pressure is high for people. Is my wedding going to be featured? Is my wedding going to be is my planner, my florist, are they going to put it on their Instagrams? Are my friends going to put it on their Instagrams? Is it going to be on someone else's Pinterest board? I mean, it is pretty wild out there. And I think it's easy to get swept up in all of that. But at the end of the day, I'll never forget this mother of the bride told me while me and her daughter were fully swept up. I mean, I think if you hire me, that's, you want it to be that way. Mm-hmm. But we were fully swept up. Maddie, I don't know if you remember.
Love Maddie.
We were fully swept up in the best possible way. And her mom sat us down like I was her child. And she looked at me and her daughter and my client. And she said, I just want you to never forget it's about the love in the room. Like at the end of the day, that's what matters most. And so I think, Emily, if you can anchor in that sentence, it's about the love in the room, then everything else is a bonus. For sure, you should personalize it. You should customize it. You should make it feel like you, look like you, smell like you. It should be a reflection of your love story with your partner or partners. But that pressure, you've just got to let it go. Like redirect your focus because otherwise you're going to drown. You know, is this good enough for who? Get rid of the idea of publications and the internet. Does it bring you joy? Does it make your fiance happy? Is it reflective of who you are? Then you should keep doing it, you know? And start with the basics. Like some people go really big picture first, but I think like a menu is a really perfect example. A lot of people overlook a menu, but what are your favorite foods? Like when your friends think of you, what do they think about? You know what I mean? Like, do you love French fries and chicken nuggets, or are you a caviar and oyster girl? Like, who are you? Are you a champagne or a Prosecco boo? Are you a tequila or vodka? Or do you not drink? Like, all of these things, I think, start with the food. Infuse all of your favorite things. Then the music, all of your favorite songs, all of your favorite artists. Then as you move into design, make choices that feel like you. And I think like use Pinterest, use these blogs as inspiration, but you can't let them be your competition or your North Star because there will always be a bigger, more beautiful, better wedding. You know what I mean? Like even that like Instagram wedding, what was it? $60 million.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see it?
Bonkers.
Yeah. Like psychotic.
Yeah.
Like in Paris and at Amangiri and like, it was wild. And now her husband's in jail. I mean, like, no shade, but like, don't shoot people. Don't shoot cops. I digress. But she had a picture-perfect wedding. But look at her life.
Right.
Look at her choices.
Right.
So all that to say, like, I just think at the end of the day, don't get swept up in it. Did you use a blog? What inspired your wedding? You were married what year?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
So like at the beginning almost of a lot of these blogs.
Absolutely.
Where
yeah.
did you find inspiration?
I mean, it's so interesting because I think back to how you, Jove, manage your kind of like intro your first date with the couples that you work with.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is based off of what their own personal style is and what their home looks like and artifacts they have
I
around
love seeing
their
people's
space.
homes. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, that is such a great approach because I think it really centralizes people to think about, okay, well, what are the things that we love and that we care about? And so there were some things that we wanted because we got married on New Year's Eve. And so it was like, okay, we want it to be fun. We want it to be a party and we want to have color. And we want people to just have a damn good time. Yeah. And so that was kind of like our North Star. Yeah. There were some like trends that we did, like whenever you stand with the huge balloon and you're standing like so still. And I look back and I'm like, that is the silliest photo.
It is a timestamp.
It is the silliest
It is a timestamp, but everybody had it.
Everyone had it.
Yeah.
And it was very much in like the kind of like early 2010s vibe, you know, that one moment. And I'm like, why did we do that? Yes. But it was fun and it was hilarious and it was obscenely windy. Yes. And so I look back at the photos and I'm like, well, that was a very poor decision.
You're a lot of work for this balloon photo.
Exactly.
But I also think for Emily, like, and no disrespect to trends, every year planners, designers get emails from all the publications in like November. And they're like, what are the trends for next year? But we are all just kind of putting out there what we think are going to be the trends. But at the end of the day, like the trend, the color of your outfit, the color of your tablecloth, the type of flowers, where there are flowers, like none of that has any bearing on the success of your marriage. Correct. At all. At all. So like do it your way. You know what I mean? Like they say at Burger King, like do it. Is that what they say? I don't eat Burger King.
I have no idea.
I feel like they say.
I don't eat meat. I don't know.
Oh my God. They have the Impossible Burger now. But anyways, my life motto is always you do you. And I think it's the same in weddings. Like it's inspiration only, not aspirational. Yes. Like, and take pieces from the things you see and incorporate those if you love them, but leave the rest at the door. There's only one you. So showcase that, showcase your love and have the best time ever. And you know what? Turn off all your phones. Like tell your friends to leave their phones at home. We don't need people taking pictures of us on our cell phones that do not look cute.
Especially in your after party.
Especially late night. I feel like photos only get, ickier as the night goes on. Like the makeup is dripping.
There you are.
Yeah, if you're like really at a party and you're giving it your all on the dance floor, you don't look glamorous. No one should be I call those revenge pictures.
Or actually the most candid photos of the event.
Also that.
Your non-Instagram worthy moments.
Those should never make the Instagram. That is correct. When you're like squatting on the floor making that look that that certain song brings out in you. Emily, we've digressed, but I really think you've just got to focus on your love, focus on what speaks to you, and trust your gut. Well, that's it for today, and wasn't that fun? Don't forget to send your questions. Again, any questions, send them our way to hi@jovemeyer.com, and maybe I will answer them on air. If you can, send a voice memo. I love to hear your voice.
Weddings-ish.
Thank you again for listening or watching Weddings-ish with Jove. This episode is brought to you by Kwiat, diamonds that look bigger, brighter, and more beautiful at kwiat.com. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also super grateful to Mel Flannery for the music on the podcast. She created, produced, and designed all of the music. And don't forget, you can watch Weddings-ish with Jove on Love Stories TV, YouTube, or streaming TV channel. Visit lovestoriestv.com/live for the list of streaming apps.
Weddings-ish.